and I'm just waiting on Craig to pick me up to go head down to Arcade Club in Bury. Apparently the weather's absolutely shite. So anyway guys, catch you later, let's rock. Right, here we are, I'm with Mr. Flanagan. Holy shit, suffice to say, it has been a bit of an experience. Coming down the road here today. I mean, we got to the A1, we were about to go into the A1 in Edinburgh, and there was a police car putting cones out, and basically the road was shut, so we had to go back. We then headed down the A68, and I don't know what road we're on just now. We're on I think it was the A68 actually. Yep. And the amount of fallen trees has just been, it's mental. Have you seen anything like that before in your life?
Never in my life. Never.
Absolutely bloody mental. If it wasn't for the fact that we were going down to Arcade Club, I think we would probably just turned around and gone home. You know what I mean? Absolutely bloody mental. So yeah, we're running a wee bit later, but you know what, it doesn't matter as long as we get there in one piece. So anyway, next update shortly.
And so yeah, we eventually arrived about 3.5 hours later than we thought. Now, bearing in mind Craig, who did all the driving, what was the first game he jumped on? Yep, that's right, Outrun 2 or something like that. Yeah, it was Outrun 2 actually. So he had literally driven for 8.5 hours and then he proceeded to play a driving game. So anyway, yeah, Arcade Club, if you've never been before, it's in Bury. I don't know how far it is from Manchester. It's sited in what I could only describe as an old kind of warehouse. It's on 3 levels. You know what, it actually reminds me very much of you know where Dragon's Den is set. It's kind of like that sort of real industrial sort of style building. Top tip, if you go there in the winter, make sure you wear a jacket. It's a bit drafty. I don't know whether they had windows open because of COVID, I'm not too sure. But yeah, you can see there, I mean, they have got virtually every arcade game you could possibly hope to play. I mean, if I was going to be super picky and pick out some notable exceptions, there was no Year Kung Fu, there was no Space Harrier, I don't believe there was a Juno First. Now I may stand corrected. I mean, it's possible I did miss some of these machines. Now apologies for the piss poor video. The video was actually supplied by a couple of my friends and it was that's wee Bob getting his arse handed to him outrun. That was actually the first time Bob. I don't actually like calling him wee Bob because he's taller than me, but then most people are. Yeah, that was actually Bob's very first go of the sit down outrun, and I think he was suitably impressed. I'm not a massive fan of Outrun the game, but you play it in the proper arcade setting in a a hydraulic cab, and it is the best game ever. Now, I don't know who that handsome devil is. Absolutely caning Star. Oh, hang on, that's me. Yeah, that's me playing Star Wars. Now, again, I would never have really deemed myself the biggest fan of Star Wars. People talk about what's your favourite arcade game, what game would you love to own, what arcade games you love to own, and lots of people say Star Wars, and I used to always think, nah, it's not that good, but trust me, Outrun and Star Wars are two of the games that when you play them in the proper way, i.e. the way God intended, they're absolutely stunning. They really are. I mean, the controls, Star Wars is all about the controls. You've got the yoke controller, you just can't replicate that in any form. I believe there is a guy that makes these yoke controllers for quite a lot of money. In fact, one of my mates actually bought one. Don't know how good that is, but yeah, it's a glorious game. It really is. It just looks beautiful. It's vector graphics, coloured graphics. These absolutely they don't date at all. So if you ever get the chance to play a sit down Star Wars, go and grab it with two hands. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other games that I didn't see. I mean, there's obviously lots. I don't know how many games there are in total. I mean, I'll kind of retrace my steps a wee bit. On the first floor, when you go in, you've got reception, and there's a wee shop you can buy some kind of stuff. You go up into the first floor, and let me think, first floor, if I remember, there's a lot of like consoles, there's Xboxes, there's Wii U's, Switches, there's some sort of bigger arcade games. I think, is it Luigi's Mansion or something's there. There's one that's like Mission Impossible, and it's in this massive big, I don't know, it looks like a gazebo. That's about the best way I could possibly describe it. And at either end of it, it's got a screen, and from what I could gather, each screen is completely independent, so I really didn't see the point of what it was. Looking at the thing, it probably cost thousands and thousands of pounds, but yeah, I didn't really get that. So yeah, floor one is a lot of kind of modern. Yep, that was photoshopped, Gov. I was absolutely coerced into getting that picture taken. We'll not name any names. Yeah, back to what I was talking about. Yeah, the first floor, there's home consoles, and it's kind of what's the right word for it? Your leisurely gamer. That's Mr. Charlie Farr playing the game that he's world champion at. Second floor, now I might be getting this wrong. The second floor is a lot of pinball tables. I did try and get a shot, but they were all full up constantly. But if you're a vintage golden age gamer like myself, then yep, the top floor, floor 3, is where all the classics are. There must be, I don't know, there must be easily 300 games, I would say. Maybe not quite as much as that, it's hard to tell. You can make your mind up when you see the video coming up shortly. There is a sort of cafe type thing. It's a bar, and I have to say, usually these kind of sort of on-premise bars, they're usually a bit of a rip-off. But I have to say, the prices wasn't too bad. I don't know how much it was for a pint, but I got a hot dog. Yeah, it was just a hot dog. It was £3, and I have to say, it was a large one. Can't beat that. And it came with some nachos as well, so that's Lewis playing whatever that was. Yeah, the food was actually really nice, and like I said, it's right on the premises, so you can kind of dive in. Plus, you're allowed to eat food when you're walking about as well, which is quite nice. So this is one of my mates playing Carnival. It's on for about 2 seconds. It just kind of gives you a flavour of just how many machines there are. Bit of Rolling Thunder there. Did I play? Yeah, I had 2 games of Rolling Thunder. If I had any criticisms, there were a lot of kids, especially early doors. There was a lot of young kids, and I'm not talking about 10-year-old, I'm talking about younger kids. Kids who really didn't seem too interested in playing the games. They were more interested in running amok, which was quite annoying. I had, when I was eating my hot dog, excuse me, I had a coffee, and some little kid ran into the table and knocked it over. But yeah, it would be nice if they maybe had like a kind of curfew time, I don't know, 4 o'clock, no kids, nobody under the age of 18. But I don't know if that's the case, but it did get quieter. Chances are the kids were probably going to their bed at that point, but it did kind of get a bit quieter. But yeah, look at that. Like I says, yeah, this video was supplied to me from a few of my mates. It was, I think it was 4K in quality. But by the time I finished with it, it looks like SD. It actually looks like VHS, and to my mind that is a good thing because it really gives you a flavour. If this was like a 1980s, there's one of my chaps, Mr. Polymos, pretending he can play Gyrus, obviously making some excuses. I think the machines were kind of in some sort of order. I mean, they had all the Mortal Kombat machines together. I don't know if did they have all the Williams together. Well, there you go, Robotron. I don't know what that was. Robotron and Stargate, so that's 2 Williams ones. Food Fight, Nibbler. Never tried that. Is that it? Carnival again. I didn't actually. I was just going to say I didn't see there. Was there an original Space Invaders? There's Mr. Cullen playing 1942. Now he should be good at that because he's got an arcade board in the house, so if he doesn't get the 11 million point bonus, then quite frankly he is pish. There's a Star Force. I don't know what that was. It's all getting a bit too blurry. I think that might have been Craig there, I'm not too sure. There's a game of Mappy, not one I played. There was also a pole position sit down. There's a dreadful Wayne Boylans, but enough about that. Is that Mikey, I think it was? There were, I was glad to see there was there was 1 track and field and there was 2 hyper sports. What's that there? I don't know what that is. There's APB, Xenophobe. Yeah, these are all, I was going to say these are all Ataris. There's a Spy Hunter. And there's Mr. Flanagan pretending he can play Kung Fu Master. Not a fan of that game. Personally, I find it way too easy. Yeah, right. No, I'm not a fan of the game. I don't like the graphics. It's all a bit repetitive, I think. But it's also damn difficult. I just don't think you'd get a game like that nowadays when you're getting pursued with dwarfs and what have you. And I'm sure, is it level 2? Is it a Hunchback? I think you get set upon, something like that. But yeah, if you're a fan of arcade games, then you absolutely need to make a point of going down and spending the day there. It's £16 to get in, and that is you from 11 o'clock in the morning until 11 at night. Personally, I find I don't think I could play all these games for that length of time. There's Ox just off camera there for a wee second. And there's a Joust, Stargate again. Didn't see a missile command. Was there a missile command anywhere? Yeah, these are all the kind of light gun games. I'm really not. I've got no interest in playing these at all. No, I didn't see a missile command, which is quite unusual. Again, if anyone can tell me differently, then please let me know, because it's perfectly possible that I missed it. There's a millipede. There's Zaxxon. Never managed a chance on Arkanoid. Twice I kind of went to play it if somebody was playing it. Again, it's one of these games that really benefits from the proper controls. Now downstairs, I think I did take a photograph of it. There was is it a candy cab area? I don't know how many there are. There's maybe about 20 candy cabs. Now these, I believe, Phoenix wasn't working. They come from Japan. I don't know what size of the screen. I think it's something like a 32-inch TV turned on its side, so it's massively portrait, and it's primarily shmups that you get. Cave, all these kind of shmups. They do look wonderful, but when I was trying to play them, I just felt that it was too kind of close. I just felt the screen was too big. So I'm not a massive fan of it, but they do look nice, I have to say. They do look nice. So these were all, I think it was on floor number 2, and like I say, there is a picture coming up shortly. There's Berserk. I never managed to do particularly well. Can you see my name in it? There's Scramble. Did I have one game in that? No, I don't think I did actually. Galaga, Patent Mania, Time Crisis, X-Men Point Blank. Was that Bubbles? I'm not too sure. There's Ian pretending to play Donkey Kong. Yeah, just there's a tapper as well. Just beautiful. I mean, it's it's a thingy beauty. One of the guys in the Discord said if this was heaven, then or if there is a heaven, then he sincerely hopes that this is what heaven looks like. Coming in, there's a Dragon's Lair 2, and oh good God, who's that handsome looking chap? Yeah, that was myself playing Craig Flanagan at Virtua Soccer. Now, I would never normally play that game, but you know what, playing against somebody else was probably the highlight of my video gaming shenanigans when I was down there. Playing side by side your mate at a game like that is awesome, and it's actually very, very easy to forget just how much fun it was and indeed is playing side by side against a mate. You're taking the piss out of each other. It's brilliant. The banter is fantastic. You just don't get that in modern gaming nowadays. You don't get that playing online. You know, that was, it's like I said, it's not a great game, but it was immense fun. It really was. Wasn't overly happy with the overall result. I think I was beaten 2-1, but anyway, I put it down to luck more than anything. Now that you can see the screen kind of flicker, and that's obviously because it's a CRT and the screen doesn't refresh at the same rate as my camera or something like that. So we stayed until, I mean, we got down there at 3, we stayed there until about, probably about 7:30, so we were actually only really there about 4 hours, and to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't feel like we were leaving early. It would be nice to have been down earlier and been able to take your time, you know, spent a bit more time. Like I said, we only had about 4 hours in the place, and then we decided we were going to head back to the hotel, and then we went out for a meal, and then after the meal we went to some 80s kind of pub, which was rather nice. Had a few Tia Marias. 3 seconds to they think it's all over. I was going to, it is now, there we go. Get it right up, you Ian Flanagan. Ian Flanagan, Craig even, I beg your pardon. I used to work with a guy called Ian. Yep, and there's a motley crew. From left to right, wee Bob, Craig, Paul, me, Charlie, Neil, Lewis and Ian. Yeah, thanks to wee Bob and Paul Amos for the photos and the video, and obviously outrun music is copyright Sega, and all other music is by my mate Mark Stoneman. So anyway guys, yeah, if you get a chance to go, get down there. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching.